Infinite love, beautiful people. Welcome back to a new video. The fear is the thing that guides our life. The fear is the thing that creates ripples in our society, that creates wars, tragedies, hungers. So, why is the fear so present in every human being? What is the source of it? And how to live without fear? Let us now inquire together. To start today's inquiry, we have to be ready to inquire. As previously said, we have to have an open mind, not agree or disagree, but actually look and observe and find the facts. So when we talk about fear, what is the fear? The fear is reaction of our own organism that creates unpleasant feeling in our body to an immediate danger. So it is response of organism to preserve itself, to save itself. And there are two fears in our life. First fear is physical fear. So, for example, you are faced with an animal in front of you and the fear activates in you and you run away. So your intelligence overcomes everything. Even if you are lazy, even if you have a pain in your back or legs, everything is ignored and you are automatically running away from the danger because you have to do it to save your life, and that is more important than anything else in your life. The other kind of fear is psychological fear, and this fear comes into being because of the experience, memory, and a thought. So, you had an unpleasant meeting with an animal and your brain has recorded the activity. You have successfully escaped and now you have this experience here stored inside of your brain. And every time you walk alone near the place where that happens, you recall this memory. So this memory automatically rises to inform you that you should be careful because animal is maybe still there. You see that and you avoid the place. And this has served humanity a lot of time. But in the place that we are living now, there is no place for psychological fear. Why is that? What has changed? Because before we had a fear that was tied to physical reaction. So you know that the animal is there and you avoid it. And you know how to avoid the animal. So this fear actually helps you to preserve your life. But today's fears are based on our problems. So the thought breeds a fear. Every memory that you have creates fear. For example, if you had a pain in your leg and the pain is gone, but you think that the pain might come back. So this creates even more fear. And by creating more fear, you get even more scared that the pain will return. So to have fear, we have to have experience past, and this experience past will transfer into a future. It might happen again. So we are skipping now and going to a future, and this is how the fear is created. And in these modern times where the stress is everywhere, you are constantly fearing that something what happened years ago will happen again. For example, you had a financial crash, were left out of your job, and because of this fear that it will happen again, you take the mediocre job, you live the bad life because you are constantly tied with this fear that it will happen again. How do we deal with this fear? As said before, we give attention to our fear. When the fear arises in you, you give total attention to this fear. What it means to give total attention? It means to listen to it, to observe it, not to think what will happen, not to try to find a solution to a problem, but actually listen and come close to the problem of the fear and observe it. If you give total attention to it, if you listen to it, the fear will instantly become even stronger, because now you have given the fuel, you have allowed it to grow, because you have given total attention. In this attention, the fear will rise and it will wither away, because it hasn't have any fuel. You have given it all it has created and expanded, and then withered away. You are in this moment free completely from the fear. But the fear will return when you start thinking about the problem again. So as said before, the thought breeds fear. So you can give attention to every new rising fear, every new rising problem, and it will be only destroying one branch and another branch. So how to get rid of the fear completely? To get rid of the fear completely, you have to go deeply inside to find out what is the root of all fear. The root of all fear inside you. If we go a little bit higher and observe the whole human mankind, because we all have the same brain, you will find out, you will see that the whole human mankind has the same problem. We all have the fear. So the fear is common for whole human mankind. It is not yours. It belongs to everyone. And what is the source of all of this fear? Now let's closely observe you as a human being. What is the source of your fear? It is fear of death. It is fear that somehow one day you will stop existing, and you are doing everything to prevent it. So this financial crash that you had before a year or 2 or 10 is still there because you are somehow fear that it will bring your death before than it should be. So root of all fear is fear of death. So how to get rid of this fear of death? You have to give undivided attention to it and find out what it means to die. Not physically, but psychologically. So what it means to die psychologically? It means to end everything. To die is to end something completely. For example, if someone is living wealthy life, has everything, if he dies, he cannot take anything with him. So it is completely end to the life that he had before. All the relationship, all the money, everything ended in this moment. And because of that, that creates fear. We are feared of letting go. Letting go the past, the way that we are living. So what happens if you, right now, in this moment, let go of everything, let go of every past moment, every memory that you have inside of you, and live freshly for the new one? When you give total attention to this, when you see that you are longing for a good life and that you don't want to lose this what you have now, you will lose the fear of death. Not a fear of death physically, because you will still be able to see the moment when you have to run away, when you have to save your life, but not thinking about it. When you are not thinking about your own death, when you are not thinking about your own problems, then you are free from fear. And many of the people will activate their mind now and they will say, how can I get rid of my problems now? When I am not thinking about that, I am ignoring them. No, what you are doing actually is collecting all of your energy. You are coming close to your problem. You don't want to immediately to solve the problem, but you actually observe what is needed to be done. So when you are free from fear, you are not avoiding problem, but you are actually solving it. For example, if you have fear of something, constantly thinking about how to find a solution will not find solution. You will only use all of your energy on thinking, not actually doing it. But when you are free from this fear of thinking, what will happen? You are free, you have collected all of your energy, and now you can actually see the root of the problem and you can apply solution immediately to it. For example, if you have a fear of losing your job, and constantly thinking about it will only increase this fear in you, and you will even more want to hold the job that you have. But when you are free from this fear, you see the problem. I might lose my job, I may have to be without a job. So what will I do? So when you see that you have to do something right now, you will start looking immediately the new job while you are on this job. Or maybe you will create your own business. You will create something that will give better security to you in this life. So you will not be paralyzed by the fear that you have, but actually you will do what is needed. And the problem is we sometimes don't want to do what is needed because it needs a lot of job to do. Because of that, it is very important for you to develop the skill of observation, to give attention in your life to your fears and to see what is needed to be done. Not what you don't want to do or want to do, but what is actually needed. So please, as always, test this for yourself. Give attention to your life, see the fears in your life, and find out, can you live without the psychological fear? Can you end something without any reason completely, to live free from the past for every new moment? Thank you for inquiring with me, and until next video, infinite love.